Hello, our Hebrew Nation. My name is Daria, and I would like to introduce the love of my life, my wife Aisha.
Hello.
We've been married for 14 years, and we are the founders of the Hebrew Israelites Recommence organization. We have been commissioned by the Most High Yah to galvanize His Hebrew people in preparation for our exodus. We're going back to our home nation, y'all, Israel.
All right. So I want to talk about the title of the video. I want to go right into the video. We had lessons 11, parts 1 and 2. And at the end of part 2, I said there most likely would not be a part 3. We were not going to touch on this topic with the Phil and the Advice show. But with everything that's going on and with the new video that came out today, today's October 4th, and his video that he put out, against us, we felt because of our organization, we need to address this issue. And so, as my husband said, we are the Hebrew Israelite Recommence organization. You can click on the description box. You can go to our website to find out what our organization is about, and you can also, we want you to go back to our past videos and also view those. Before I get started, I'm about to get right into the title of this lesson and what we're talking about tonight, which is the Advice show and the commentator Phil. I want you all to know that what was I saying? I'm sorry, I lost my thought right there. We have other previous lessons that we want you to go back to and listen to. And so this organization, we're about the solution, and we felt that this topic needed to be addressed because it's so much that it's just wrong about this situation. And so, that's the part that I was forgetting that I normally don't say in the beginning of the video. We are Hebrews. And that's not a religion. Stop being silly. Okay? I hate to come out and say that, but I need you all to understand my language as you continue in this video. Okay? As we continue with going to the topic of this video, we are Hebrews. So if you could refer to yourself as a African American, Black American, Caribbean island, West Indies, Jamaican, Haitian, you are not those things. You are a Hebrew. Okay, that's not a religion. That's your ethnicity. And so the reason why I'm coming out saying that in the beginning, because I need you to understand our language. When we say Hebrew, we talking about who?
Our ethnicity.
Right. So you're so-called black people. Everybody on here saying black people, we're not those things. We're Hebrews.
And when we mention Israelites, that's because our home nation is Israel. We're Hebrew Israelites because we're from the nation or country of Israel.
Exactly. We're not talking about religion. I find it amazing that when people say they're Nigerian or Ghanaian, you don't equate that automatically to religion. But when we say we're Hebrews, and a lot of you all know who we are, then you want to think that's funny business. That's our ethnicity. So when I say Hebrews, I'm not talking about a religion. We're about to continue in this video and the title of this video. But when I say Hebrews, I'm talking about your so-called Black Americans, African Americans. That's a joke.
What they labeled us here in our land of captivity.
Exactly.
And also, before we start, I just want to throw out this disclaimer. Our YouTube videos are not monetized. We have no AdSense running behind the scripts. We have no Patreon accounts. So we don't do this for money. Mm-hmm. We are an organization that is incorporated in Illinois. And I just want to put that out there. So a lot of people, like Phil made a comment that you have a lot of people...
Well, we are a non-for-profit.
Well, we are a non-for-profit, but
we're
a non-for-profit for the agenda. And if you go to our website, you'll see our agenda, and we'll get into that as we end toward the end of the video. But I'm saying it to say is, Phil made a comment that a lot of people came at him as a come up or like clickbait to draw visitors to profit off his pain, I guess to say. So I'm just putting that disclaimer out there. Our YouTube videos are not monetized. We are not a part of the YouTube partnership program. So this video is being done for love of our people, our Hebrew nation, and we just felt that we just wanted to let our voices be heard on this particular issue, because it is a trending issue, and at some point we have to move past this burp and get back to the God's business at hand.
And our station just started 2 months ago.
2 months ago.
So I want you to understand, as we go on in this video, don't think we just jumped on the bandwagon with this particular subject.
No.
Okay.
We have been talking about everything but stuff like this.
Exactly. Okay. So now that you understand our language, when I say that when I'm saying Hebrews, I'm talking about black folks. But stop calling yourselves that. We Hebrews, we have a nationality. Stop being scared. It's okay to say who we are. We're Hebrews. Okay? And so I want to say, first of all, we want to say that we're so proud of our Hebrew nation.
Yes, we are.
During this period with what's been going on with the field show. How many minutes are we at? 6. Okay. What's been going on with the field show? Because you all have enforced the code and upheld the code. And that's what we should do as a nation.
Yes.
You know, I find it ironic when all other nations enforce the code and uphold the code for their people. You know, Asians, you know, the Hispanic could be, whether that's a culture, but Latinos, your Mexicans or whatever, the Esau, your white people, they can uphold the code and enforce the code. But when we do it, they're trying to say we being hateful.
Oh, we're the coons, not the coon itself. Who did the act. We're the coon. No, we're so proud of you, because at the end of the day, it's one thing if one or two people take exception to something, to an issue, but when a large majority of our people take exception, that means it's real. A lot of people felt defrauded. A lot of people felt a certain type of way about this knowledge coming into the light. And you got to understand, as the curse of Deuteronomy 28 is ending, and we're coming out of this curse, and our people are being awakened, we are more sensitive to the truth. And so this is also a age of disclosure. All things done in the dark are coming to light. And the fact that this particular issue came to light and so many people raised their voices, raised their voices on their channels, and just start saying how they felt. Never let anybody, I don't care who they are, tell you don't have a right to feel that way.
Right.
If that's your intuition and that's what your spirit is telling you, I feel duped. Guess what? You were duped.
Right. It's not even about how you feel sometimes. Sometimes it's just the
reality of the situation.
He's a liar.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's what we want to talk about. We said we're so proud of you. You know, it's like Hebrews. It's like we damned if we do, we damned if we don't. If we don't uphold the code and enforce the code, we being soft and letting people run over us. And then when we trying to enforce the code as a nation, as a group, they come and say, "Oh, you coming against other black people? Get out of here, the devil."
But with Steve Harvey, with Kanye West, it was no problem.
Right.
Everyone didn't have a problem with those people because of what? They're celebrities. Oh, so we supposed to treat Phil different because he is a part of our black media?
Right.
You know, and I understand the complexity of just having to deal with that. We shouldn't even have to deal with something like that. That's something that should have been disclosed at the beginning. Or in his answer, when he was asked directly about the ethnicity of his wife, he chose to leave that blur out there and put black at the end, knowing what he looks at every day.
Okay, and we're gonna touch on that. We had gone over, like we said, how we were so proud of our people. You know, our Hebrew nation. We're so proud of you. Like I said, get used to our language, and so that's what I actually want to talk about. What is treason? Okay, we want to talk about that because there's a lot of confusion out here, and we're here to set some things straight. because as a people, we're not going to continue to be manipulated by Esau, by the Gentiles, by our own people.
No.
And this is very necessary because you cannot move forward as a nation if you don't clean house first. Period.
Learn from past mistakes. Like I was telling my wife, you gotta understand, we have been done wrong by every nation. We have been done wrong within our own nation, from our pastors to some of our family members,
to the leaders,
to our elected officials who look like us. They never represented us. Even Obama,
and he not
even a Hebrew. He a Hamite,
right?
So he was never bound to do anything for us.
Right. We're not going to. We're worthy of being served in an honorable manner like any other nation on this earth.
Yes.
And anyone to tell you any different, they're the liar, not you.
In the words of Clyde Anderson, we are a very exceptional people. And we need to start being treated like one.
Exactly.
A nation of exceptional people.
Exactly. And so that's what we want to talk about also. That's my next point. What is treason? Okay. Treason is someone who goes against their own country or nation. Did you hear that? Let me say that again. Treason is someone who goes against their own country or nation. Let me tell you how treason works. Okay, as far as us, we don't have our nation back yet. We're going back to Israel. We're going to talk about that. That's why this organization was born. But an act of treason is when you consider your own personal feelings or your own personal agenda, even though it goes against the betterment of the group. The
whole group, yes.
Just like you got some of these YouTubers, I'm not saying any names, but you have some YouTubers out here defending and co-signing this bullshit crap about Phil because they don't want to mess up the relationship with him because they want to be on his platform because he has a larger platform. Well, that's treasonous because you are supporting a treasonous
someone who has traded against the race,
a traitor, so that because you thinking about your own individual feelings. Think about the group. We are a nation of people.
We are to move as a fist and not individual fingers.
Exactly. And don't let anybody come on, including Phil, with that bullcrap video tonight, making you feel bad for standing as a nation. We are people. Like anybody else. Everybody else is unapologetic when they enforce a code and uphold a code.
And defend their own.
You're not coming against your own because you calling out treason.
Or a treacherous act.
Exactly. He reminded me tonight on that video of pastor. See, we done been through that before. And don't get me wrong, I was raised in the church, and I'm what you would call a Christian. I love God. We love God, okay? But, you have a pastor's son who done slept with somebody in the church and he's still up there preaching and she pregnant and the pastor covered it or she had the abortion. And then they come and try and tell you being messy because you're like, why he didn't sit down? Exactly. Why he been preaching as an associate pastor and he out here fornicating?
And they're making you feel guilty for speaking up of the cover-up.
Or say you sowing discord.
Or you sowing discord within the church.
Exactly. That's what Phil did tonight. He done sat up here and lie and deceive his people, his nation of people, and they're gonna sit here and act like we doing something wrong because we call him on it. Listen, okay. So as a nation of people, like any other group of people, we have a code, and the code is we do not support treasonous. You do not go against the group, the betterment of the group for your individual agenda. You black YouTubers out here supporting him because you don't want to mess up your relationship with him. That's treason. Because you don't want to go against him when you know he lied and deceived the people because you concerned about you being on his platform. That's treason because you're not thinking about the betterment of the group. This is simple ABC. Am I making this up?
No.
It don't take a rocket scientist. Okay? Don't come against the people. Don't come against the Hebrew nation because we upholding the code and enforcing the code. And then the same ones will be the same ones making a video saying how we don't stick together. What the hell you think sticking together mean?
And we just demonstrated how our nation sticks together when we see something that isn't right.
And you can't do anything with your enemy if you don't have it together from within. You have to call out the treasonous within the group first.
You have to call out the coons.
Thank you.
No matter how much it hurts.
Exactly.
It might. You could be their friend. You may have to call out your friend, and yes, it will hurt you. But for the betterment of the group as a whole, you put aside your personal, individual agendas.
Exactly. That's what that means. I mean, this is simple, but you have to teach them this because they don't understand. But I'm gonna tell you something. For the agenda that we have, it has to be the case.
Yes.
Because we hear about the solution. We're not here to just get subscribers, and
no,
we're here about the solution. And you're gonna hear about the solution. You need to go back to our other lessons 1 through 11. The station is only 2 months old. Okay, we'll talk about that a little bit later. So I want to talk about how Phil lied. Because, see, he keeps saying his wife is Native American, and we all know that he lied and said she Native American black. And that's fine. Because it already came out how he didn't lie. He came out with this video tonight lying, trying to cover and blaming the victim. You defrauded us.
Yes. Okay?
People donating to you. Just what his Patreons for a month, that's about $10,000 a month. If you average it about $5, and some of them paying 10, some paying 2, some paying 5. And then some silly people say, well, why are you mentioning money? Well, I think that's, if we're supporting you like paying tithes, the pastor used to have us paying tithes.
Malachi 3 and 10, pushing it down your throat
that
every week.
Joke. And then think you don't have a say on what go on in the church. But anyway, we're not even going to go there because right now we're talking, it's like the black YouTubers trying to replace the black church.
Well, and like you said, if it follows, all you have to do is go back to February when, this was way before the DNA test. He said when they originally got the DNA test results, his wife said something to the effect that she was surprised that she was 67% Native American.
Exactly. That's what I was getting to. See, Phil, don't forget we still have that video where when you were, it wasn't the one with the Black History. That's when he acknowledged who we were, Hebrews. That's coming. But that Phil, when he first revealed his DNA results, he didn't just reveal it this week. When he first revealed his DNA results, it was about a year ago. Okay, he revealed his DNA results, and he also went over his wife's DNA results. And he said, my wife was surprised. Now, mind you, this the same time he telling us she black, yeah. Right? So he said my wife was surprised that she was 67% Native American. Now, I'm thinking, she maybe 2 or 3 generations ago Native American, but she's black. He had a few black women on his station. I'm thinking maybe she could be him. He knew what he was doing. That could be him. And so this is my question to you, Phil. If a year ago when you did your wife's DNA, and I heard you say out your own mouth, everybody go pull up that video. I promise you, we didn't have time tonight. When he said when he did the DNA, when he said my wife was surprised to see that she had 67% Native American DNA. My question to you, Phil, okay, so a year ago, if she was surprised to know that she was 67% Native American, then what did she refer to herself before then?
What did she identify herself as before then?
Okay, right. What does her family identify themselves as? Okay, cut the crap. Quit insulting our intelligence. What did your wife refer to herself as? Was it Mexican? Was it white?
Was it Latina?
Right. What did she refer to herself as? If she was shocked she was Native American, then obviously she supposedly didn't know that. So what was she calling herself before then? And what were you calling her, Phil, when you weren't lying? Okay. So like I said, when according to the Most High, for the work that Phil is trying to do, it's treasonous. You can't help build and you sleeping with the enemy. What part of that don't some people get? You understand? We are the most oppressed group on the face of the planet. And you sleep with the enemy? Really? Does that make sense?
It doesn't. And for you to call yourself or build a platform off our struggles and the come out as a pro-black activist is basically what we all are on our channels.
Well, now he say he not pro-black.
When you come out as a pro-black, you're speaking on black issues. You the one on your station talked about Hebrews or blacks marrying Beckys.
Right.
Yet and still you're married to a Becky.
Then he gonna have the nerve to use Colin Kaepernick. Talking about we don't hold it against him. That first of all, Colin Kaepernick is biracial. So naturally he might date biracially. Okay, that's number one. Number two, Colin Kaepernick is not a leader. And I know you say you're not a leader, but you come on every day and want thousands of people to listen to you. So whether you call yourself that or not.
And at the end of the day, Colin Kaepernick took a stance against police brutality against our nation. Mm-hmm. He did not take a stance against interracial marriage.
Like you did, Phil.
He did not take a stance on other issues. His only stance in support of our Hebrew nation was taking a stance of the number one thing that is dogging us now: police brutality and innocent killing of our black men and children.
Right. So if he was to do like Michael Jordan and turn around and donate $1 million to the police union, then he would be
would make him treason.
Exactly.
A treasonous person, because you made a stance against police brutality, but yet and still after Nike give you some money, now we hearing about you donating $1 million to the police fund,
and you go support it,
and that would be treasonous to our people.
Right, and that's an example. Colin Kaepernick hasn't done that, not to my knowledge. I'm just saying. See, so don't try and pull him into your mess, okay? So you spoke against dating Becky, but you was dating Becky. You were treasonous.
No, he wasn't dating Becky. He married Becky.
He married, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move
okay.
on.
So like I said, Colin Kaepernick took a stance against the police murders of Hebrews in this nation. Okay. If he was to turn around and support the police union or whatever, like Michael Jordan did, then that would make him a traitor.
Yes.
You talking about don't date Becky and you married to one, that makes you a traitor and that makes you a liar.
And it makes you a fraud.
And anyone who supports you is a treasonous because they're thinking about their own individual feelings instead of that of the group. We're people. Okay? Hebrew. What are they so scared of saying who we are for?
Well, like I said,
I'm black, I'm African American, I'm saying quit being silly.
When you stand for something, you know Esau is right around the corner, and a lot of people are scared to face Esau head on. Well, this organization and my wife and I, we're not. That's our whole goal.
No, most of these YouTubers, honey, I'm not saying any names, and I love them. They're our people. I'm not talking about Phil. Most of these YouTubers know we Hebrews, and why don't you refer to yourself as what you are? You are a Hebrew. You are not black. My handbag is black. I carry to work every day. What the hell does that mean, black? Really? We're people. Why don't you say Hebrew as the Hebrew nation? Is that a religion? I mean, is being Gunnian a religion? Our history is the Bible. Don't get me wrong. That's our history book. However, you just because you don't believe in that Bible don't make you not a Hebrew and don't make you not a target for being shot by the police. Go to lesson 2 on our channel. Were you saying something, honey?
No.
Okay, so we want to read Ezra and then we're gonna go on. Ezra chapter 10, and I want to do a little background. They were coming back to build. This is our history book. In Ezra, when we were exiled, they were coming back to build the temple in our home nation in Jerusalem in Israel. And God was telling them, the Most High was telling them, you have a problem. And this has something to do with Phil and what we're talking about today. Honey, if you could read Ezra, and we're going to just read 3 small verses, and then I'm going to bring in my point. If you can read Ezra chapter 10, verse 2.
Under the heading, The People's Confession of Sin. Then Shechaniah, son of Jehiel, one of the descendants of Elam, said to Ezra, "We have been unfaithful to our God by marrying foreign women from the peoples around us. But in spite of this, there is still hope for Israel."
Okay. He's saying we've been marrying foreign women from the nations around us. Now, this scripture actually go pretty soft, because if you go to the Apocrypha, the Most High really go in about marrying foreign women. Okay. It is what it is. See, our identity is everything. And you talking about you African American, that's a joke. Okay, that just makes, stop saying that. We're Hebrews. Why are you so scared to say who you are? We're Hebrews. Read my lips if you can imagine seeing them. We are Hebrews. And as a Hebrew, you're not supposed to be mixing with foreign women. Okay? We're the chosen people of God. We are the 12 tribes of Israel. That blood is not to be tainted in that way. But we're not saying leave your spouse. Okay, if you can read Ezra 10 through 11.
Verse 10 continues. Then Ezra, the priest, stood up and said to them, "You have been unfaithful. You have married foreign women, adding to Israel's guilt. Now honor the Lord, the God of your ancestors, and do his will. Separate yourselves from the peoples around you and from your foreign wives." Now again, I'm not suggesting that Phil has to divorce his wife or leave him, but this is the point. You can't, on one hand, say you represent Israel, and at the other hand, you married to a foreign outside enemy of Israel.
Right. Colin Kaepernick not building. He took a stand. You supposed to be building. You claim you building a media machine against the propaganda. You building and you sleeping with the enemy. Really?
And let me go even a little bit deeper to make my point of that last verse that I read. What did Jesus mean by "you will know them by their fruit"? What comes out of his mouth will give him away. He may appear clean and upright to us on the outside in every way, but if deceit and falsehood are in his heart, false teachings and other perversions of the truth will come out of his mouth. Now, let's just hypothetically speaking, let's say if this story never came to light involving his marriage, what other teachings can he be leading our Hebrew nation in the wrong direction that we otherwise would not have questioned? I'll give you one. This ungodly partnership agenda with Dr. Mumby pushing us to go back to Africa and to support our African brothers and sisters in their struggle in Africa. We have our own inheritance to fight for and reclaim, and it's called Israel. We are Hebrew Israelites, and our home nation is Israel. So we're going to fight for anybody's country or soil. We're going to fight Esau and the United Nations and take back our inheritance and go back home to Israel.
Exactly. And that's why this organization was born. And this station is only 2 months old. And if you will go back to our previous lessons from lesson 1 and also go to our website, you will see why this organization was born. Phil knows, back to my husband, Phil knows who we are. He know we Hebrews. And he pushing this African American bullshit. Excuse me. But I'm sick of it.
And we're gonna
he know we Hebrew.
And we're gonna do a video shortly on Dr. Mumby, because you know Ghana is offering green cards to make us resident, so we can become, in their words, African Americans can now come back home and be residents in Africa and Ghana. Residents for what? Are we going to own anything? Are we going to own land? And guess what? Who's going to be protecting Ghana? The American soldiers. The American military is going to be protecting this Ghanaian project, they call it.
They've been trying, and it haven't happened yet, but that's the goal. They do what they want.
So we're supposed to leave one white supremacist society whose slave patrol murder us to go to Africa and be residents in a foreign land with the same police patrol patrolling us. You know, so think about that. Why is this agenda pushing us to go back home to Africa? When from the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s, where was Africa?
Right.
We was over here still getting our butts kicked. Africa wasn't trying to get us. But you know what? Africa sees the same thing that the forefathers in Columbus saw. They were in pursuit of property, not the pursuit of happiness. We were property. We go back to Africa as residents to tend their land after they kick all the white folks off of it. We're residents. What ownership do we have in Africa? What land are we going to be able to own the land? Do those green cards give you that right to own the land, to build businesses for ourselves? They're not saying all that. So be careful about what these people push.
And what my husband is saying, and this goes back to Phil in the Vast show. I have heard his previous videos. That's the one when he was doing the lesson, when he was doing the show on the Black American history, so-called Black American history. And he was talking about Martin Luther King, and I Have a Dream speech. And he was saying how Martin Luther King was talking to his people. Phil, I know you know we Hebrews. You know we Hebrews. And I want, show me in the Bible where it says we're supposed to go back to Africa.
They sold us. When God told his people, our people, to flee into Africa so we can blend in and get away from Rome when they came to take down Jerusalem, guess what we did on the west coast of Africa? We built up Timbuktu. We were the richest people still on the planet. Mm-hmm. We built up Timbuktu. And when the Europeans came, the Africans were already jealous because we were already strangers on their land. Mm-hmm. Not to mention we have flourished. Mm-hmm. We were kings, queens, builders, and everything on their land. And guess what? When Esau came looking for Hebrews, they said, "Oh, they over there." They knew we are not their bloodline. Yes, we love them because we share the same melanin and skin tone. So we share that similarity. But they knew enough about us to know those are not our people. Those are the ones you're looking for, the Hebrews. And they sold our black butts to those slave owners and slave masters and took us back over here on slave ships, which again was a part of our curse that we had to go through anyway. But just saying that, why in the hell will we be on the return to Africa agenda when they are some of the very people who sold us? And even you want to say, okay, the results of your wife's blood test came back 67% Native American. Did you know Native Americans own slaves?
Right. So really?
So that makes it even better? That makes supposed to make it better?
They enslaved our Hebrew hands over here. It is very clear in this Bible that we're supposed to go back to Israel, not Africa. That is why this organization was born. This is not something we just pulling out our hat tonight, responding to the Bash show. Go back to our previous lessons. This organization was born. I am a prophetess. My husband is a prophet. My husband is leading the charge. God has called us. This is not something that you jump up and volunteer for. As I keep saying, this is not even something that you're chosen to do. This is something that you're born to do. The Most High Yah has given us a mandate to galvanize our people, to gather us. It's time for the second Exodus. It's time to go back to Israel. God's going to use us to speak the judgment and the plagues. Esau's going to get that work. We going before the European nations and we are going back home. Go back to our previous lessons. And now you coming with all this mess. Talking about some back to Africa. Really?
We're not going to fall for the banana and tail pie, y'all. And with that, we love you guys. We love you for taking your stand. Do not feel sorry. God, this is a time of disclosure. All things are coming to light. He has renewed put his spirit on you. He has opened your heart. So you can't be tricked again.
Right. And we need, what we're asking you also, number one, go back to our previous lessons. If you don't know everything we're saying, you will be a little confused about our organization if this is your first time hearing us. Go back and listen to our previous lessons, okay? And you will understand what our organization is about. Go back to the website. Our website mainly just highlights the videos that we put out because that's what we do the teaching. We need 40 million signatures from our Hebrew nation. Like this, share this, subscribe, saying that we ready to go back to Israel. Now, we're not going from one white supremacist system to another.
No.
Okay? Esau's got to go. That's in lesson 8. Now, I know that's hard for you to believe. We're not going to be living under Esau. The Lord's going to drive out the northern horde. He has put his prophets on the front line. We're the ones doing the fighting. But just in the days of Egypt, I am going to show you my wonders. God has sent us to our Hebrew nation to get this work done. We just want your name and
in the state, city, and state that you're from.
So when we go before the European nations, we will have. It's not just the two. It's not just the prophets. It's also the people. Moses represented the people, and Esau's going to tell us no when we go before the European nations, because that's what they're going to do. Because that's what they've always done. They're going to tell us to kick rocks, and then the Lord's going to. They're going to get that work. As in the days of Egypt, I am going to show you my wonders, and the Lord is going to use us to speak the judgment and the plagues, and they're going to get that work until they let us go. Yes, we're back there again. Yes, it's time for our exodus. So I don't know what Phil and Dr. Mumby talking about Africa. We're not going back to Africa. We're going back to Israel. They're going to get off our land. Now, I know that that's hard for you to believe. That's why God didn't call you to do it. With all due respect, but we need your support. Okay, go sign so we can say in the name of the Hebrew nation.
Yes,
this is what we're doing,
and
that's the agenda.
I implore you to watch our last video, which is titled "Black Lives Matter." To whom? And on that video, I basically posted a video of our elder, Dr. Clyde Anderson, one of his speeches, and in that speech. Or one of his speeches, he entailed that when you go for reparations, you can't go for reparations as a group of people. That's why we need your names. Individuals who all say, I want our land and our inheritance back.
Well, then we're not really going by their rules, and we're not really going by their court system. You know,
it's all a technicality, but we need people. We need our people to say we want our home and our land back. And so we need Esau to, like we go before them, we want them to say no so we can start giving them these plagues.
They're going to say no. And God's going to speak the judgment and the plagues, and daughter Babylon going down and we're going home.
And they're going to get it so bad, they're going to be begging us to leave.
And like I said, I know you don't believe that. I know it's hard for you to believe it. I'm not saying this as an insult, but it's just, I know you don't believe that, but that's why God didn't call you to do it. We're on the front line. As in the days of Egypt, I'm going to show you my wonders. He said, I sent a prophet to care for them. Jesus is not coming down here on a cloud for our exodus. Go back to our previous lessons. Listen to those, because then you'll understand what this organization is about. And the agenda. The agenda is galvanizing and going back to Israel, not Africa. And calling out these treasonous. We're going to be one band, one sound.
Moving as a fist and not individual fingers.
And we're going to call out anybody. I'm proud of you, Hebrew nation. And we got more to call out. Phil is a fraud. He's a liar. It is what it is. And instead of him coming out apologizing, he going to come out like pastors, the crooked pastors, and try and make a fool out of us. And tell us we wrong for calling him out instead of saying he wrong for land.
We're hypocritical and unforgiving. Okay, really?
Get out of here with that.
And with that, again, we want to say we love you guys. And God bless. And shalom. Till next time.
Shalom, family.
Shalom, my Hebrew nation. I want to thank you for listening to the video. And as always, I urge you to share it on all your social media platforms with all Hebrews. You can also visit our website at www.thiro.org to learn more about our mission and to donate towards the fulfillment of God's agenda. What is the agenda? Your donations will in part help the channel grow by supporting the business operations, but mainly and most importantly, funds will help us go before the United Nations to collect our reparations. Again, my name is Daria, and I am the servant of the Lord that the scriptures speak of in Isaiah 49. For I know that I have not come to convince you, but rather to fulfill a mission I was born to do. I walk in the office of a prophet and have been spiritually anointed by the Most High Yah. For Esau's reign is over, and the reign of Jacob has begun. Like many of the biblical prophets before me, such as Moses, they were given armor bearers, as referenced in Scripture, Micah 6:4. Moses' armor bearers came in the form of his sister Miriam and his brother Aaron. I have been most honored that God has sent my Miriam and Aaron in the form of my beautiful and God-fearing wife, Aisha, who's also a prophetess. In closing, the time has come to begin the process of divorcing ourselves from this country and preparing our mind, heart, and souls to flee Babylon. We cannot go anywhere without money or land. The Lord is going to use me to drive out the Gentile northern horde currently squatting on our land by speaking judgments and plagues. Daughter Babylon and the European nations will be plundered, and we will collect our reparations and return home. To my Arturian Council light workers scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, assigned to assist and guide me in the completion of this mission, I say to you, I'm here. I'm ready. Let's do this. Shalom.